Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Jake Gordon and Alex Lord. We are about to break down the Week 2 matchups in the SEC, and we can start with the biggest one, Alabama and Texas. I thought Alabama looked good. Jaden Milroe still leaves a little bit to be desired, but they looked good. They ran the ball. Their offensive line is dominant. I thought their defense looked good. Texas, I watched that game. Their offensive line it was very squirrely in that first half. Their offensive line, Quinn Ewers was taking a lot of big hits. If they don't protect him better against Alabama, I could see this one getting ugly. But you also have to take into account that Texas was probably looking ahead to that Alabama game much more than about any other team in the country.
Yeah, I didn't have a great first week predictions wise, but I think this one could get out of hand. I think Alabama's going to win pretty handily.
Yeah, they're 7-point favorites right now, and everybody seems to love the Longhorns, which makes me try and go the opposite way. I enjoy this kind of throwback Bama. They're running smash mouth football, and Jalen Milroe is that kind of quarterback. He does leave something to be desired with his arm, but he's as athletic as any quarterback in the nation in terms of running the football.
Yeah, I think Charlie, my buddy that plays at Alabama, said he's a legit 4-4. He's a legit 4-4. And their coaches with all the transfers and Ty Simpson, who they wanted one of those guys to win the job. Mm-hmm. They actually wanted Milroe to go play safety. Like, that's how athletic that this guy is. Yeah, like he is a true athlete that they think that could play all over the field because they wanted, and he was like, no, I want to play quarterback. Like, I'm going to win this job. He won the job. And from what I heard, it wasn't that close of a competition. So I like Alabama, especially at home in a revenge spot. I thought they looked like the much better team in week 1. I think they can dominate the trenches, with something they haven't been as good at in the past couple of years compared to previously. I think they can do that in this matchup. I really do like Alabama to win and cover. I'd probably buy it down to 6.5 to be safe, but I do like Alabama.
I'm waiting on the public to do that for me. I feel like they're probably going to push it in that direction.
What's next, Jake? I know you got it in front. I know that. Ole Miss and Tulane. Ole Miss and Tulane attract me. A really fun game. A really, really fun game.
That's going to be a fun one. Yeah, I'm excited for that. You want to talk about some nasty business? Vanderbilt and Wake Forest are kicking off at 11 a.m. Eastern. That game couldn't even get a 12 o'clock slot. I think that one's going to be ugly. By the way, if you want to hear more about this, we're doing a college football lock show. We'll have that on YouTube. I guess we'll do it tomorrow. We'll go a little more in depth on these games. I think Wake Forest will cover the spread. I've not liked what I've seen out of Vanderbilt so far. Georgia plays Ball State. Who cares? Eastern Kentucky plays regular Kentucky. Another who cares? There's not a ton of compelling matchups, but I do like Auburn at Cal.
Cal and Auburn.
That'll be a fun one to watch.
I know we all bet North Texas, and then listen. I know some of us didn't have the best weeks if you watch our college football gambling locks and stuff like that, but you realize how quickly you don't know a lot coming into the season. All right, we get it. You had a good week. We got it, Alex.
2 good weeks.
We got it, but I will say
also closing line value got crushed. So like smart bets were just not hitting.
Cal their offense looked really good against North Texas. They were explosive. And that game against Auburn, obviously, I'm a big Hugh Freeze guy, but that's not going to be an easy one. And if you're Auburn, you definitely want to win that game. I think that has a chance to turn into a track meet really quick. That game and the Tulane Ole Miss game. I know everyone's going to talk about the Texas and Alabama game, and they should. I think those two games could be much better than the Texas Alabama game as far as just like a viewing perspective and what's more fun to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Ole Miss and Tulane are only on ESPN2, which is crazy to me. 3:30. Also, don't forget about Texas A&M and Miami. That's going to be an exciting game for both programs. They're both they're both at different states in their trajectories. Texas A&M has got to win this game, and maybe convincingly. And Miami, this would do a lot for their fans, for their recruiting. If they could go in and beat A&M, that's one I'll be watching.
I think it's definitely compelling. It's the matchup of the underachievers, and this is going to tell us a lot about A&M. I think another fun one too, Arizona at Mississippi State. It's very interesting. Two programs that are kind of like, kind of caught in the middle, but I think Arizona's kind of on the rise. They're not good, but they're improving. Mississippi State, kind of where are you after the Mike Leach era? I think it's compelling. I will say that.
Okay, really true.
It's a lot better than week 1. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, we got to do something about that, man. Colorado and TCU saved. They absolutely saved week 1. And that was at a 12 o'clock. That was pretty much the only good game. The rest of them you could have kept, and I just wasn't too into it.
I do think LSU Florida State was disgusting. Yeah, I mean it was an ugly college. Even the games Ohio State looked awful. There was a lot of things where I was like, who's going to win it all this year? I have no idea. I mean, if it was just week one performances, I wouldn't mind putting a little bet on Florida State, but maybe LSU's just that bad, and I'm just into.
I don't think so. I think it's an overreaction. I mean, we'll get into the ACC after this, but I think Florida State, like, they got playmakers, man. Like they have the tools, especially the defensive front.
They can sling it and they can rush the passer.
Yeah. I think Florida State's worthy of the hype this year, actually.
Yeah, which is surprising. Mike Norvell, way to prove us wrong. Coming up after the break, as you said, Jake, we are going to break down week 2 in the ACC.